You know, with Phil Park graduating, you know, we just focusing on scoring touchdowns, and we still trust our kickers. And our big emphasis, like you said, Coach Combs, is just scoring in the red zone.
How much, how is this different? What are you learning more now compared to fall camp? How is spring different than fall camp for you?
I mean, in the spring, you know, it's those 15 practices that the coach can really just dig in and go into detail with you. You know, they don't have to worry about game planning, opponents, and things like that. So we just focus on what we have to do to get better as a whole team.
How much is this just fun for, I know a lot of guys have family and friends watching, some coming in. I saw a lot of people here as they're getting off saying hi to some people. How much is that a part of this for you?
I mean, it's very important, but you know, we have to focus on what we're here to do, and that's just to play football and execute what the coaches have taught us. So, you know, we still have our family in town. We're going to spend our time with them, but the main reason we're here is just to execute and play football and have a good spring game.
So you guys are going to come out of tomorrow's spring game as the favorite to win the Big East, get to a BCS Bowl game. What would you say after 14 practices spring ball? What's the strength of this team right now?
Well, the strength right now is just the offensive line and defensive line. You know, those guys they came out, competed every day, all 14 practices, and they're still going to compete going into tomorrow's spring game.
You know, I think a lot of people want to know about the development of the offensive line. Still a lot of young guys, but some guys coming back with experience. Talk about their progress and in what areas they developed this spring.
You know, during the offseason, you know, those guys really took it to heart about protecting the quarterback and open holes for the back. And, you know, this entire spring, you know, those guys have just been in the classroom learning, they're working to detail, going into detail with their work, and just coming out, executing and making the plays look the same way they look on paper.
What do you think about your playmakers on the outside? You guys still looking for somebody to kind of step up there, or do you feel pretty good about Devontae and Andrell Smith and Eli Rogers and those kind of guys?
I mean, each one of those guys are unique. You know, they have their own game, and they all play different. But the one thing about them is they love to catch the ball and they love to make plays, and that's the biggest thing we look for.
How different has this been for you this spring?
Well, it's been different compared to last season. You know, last season, you come in, I was new to college, and I had to learn the system. But then a year into it, and just trusting the guys who are in the system with me, and just going in and out, day in and day out with those guys, just very different.
Coach Hurt says he knows that you're relaxed now. In what ways do you know that you're relaxed?
I mean, I just seem like I'm the type of person who doesn't let anything get to me. You know, you have to play this game with no emotions. And, you can't get too high over a big pass and you can't get too low over a bad pass. So, just being relaxed and calm, like Coach Watt said, the eye of the hurricane. That's the way I go about playing the position.
Today you got four really good running backs back there. Talk a little bit about the competition amongst those guys this spring.
I mean, those guys have been fighting for that spot and for that job. Each scrimmage, each practice, those guys came out and ramped their pads low and just trusted the coaching that they received. And, Corbin Lamb, Dominique Brown, Sonoris Perry, Jeremy Wright, those guys all just playing big roles to this offense.
Did any one of those guys kind of stand out in your mind, maybe that is going to emerge from spring practices as the leading candidate going into fall camp?
I mean, based on the spring, I see it as it just was equal. Those guys all just came out and competed at a high level, and that's what we're looking forward to.
What would you describe this offense as?
This offense is just, it's a multiple offense. We have a variety of plays, variety of formations that we can beat a team with. We can play an entire game in 21 personnel, or we can just come out in 10 personnel. So we have a huge variety of formations and plays.
How about your offensive line? It seems like they were